Now, we look at fires in plywood. We have the plywood, they've got their limitations too. We start asking, is the moisture absorption is high on these type of panels? And the other thing that we get into is the plywoods are made up of a waterproof adhesive. And in that waterproof adhesive, the water stood on that material, and where did the water end up seeping into the core of that plywood? Is through every fastener that was driven in to hold it in place. So when we get into is showing on the plywood is more stable, but it has more edge swell. Like here, plywood is more stable in the edge swell, but however, it goes into delamination. It's more prone than this. This is the type we'll see for problems with it. And not all species are equal in the construction. For example, there's some moisture content in your plywood. We're going to set it up for spruce or pine or fir, but we don't know what species are in there unless you actually find out again from your plywood manufacturer. The next thing that we get into is showing that it's got, for example, five glue lines. All right. In that 5 glue lines, I'm going to need another hand. The fastener went through the plies, or through the ply and all through the glue lines. We know in every one of the fasteners going across here, that moisture now has wicked down where that fastener has been, and it's into the core. Okay? When we try drying this and doing structural drying, and we're going to try drying it, we actually have got 5 mini vapor barriers in that plywood. You're going to see where we can actually dry the surface. You can also dry the bottom, but between and the core is where your elevation and moisture is still holding. So a lot of times when you have to identify of really what the moisture content of that plywood is, you have to take out a 4x4 section right out of the middle, turn it on edge, take your pin meter and go between the glue lines and not touch them, because the glue lines will take and set up a resistance different in your meter. So if we're pinning through the glue lines, your moisture meter, it's based on resistance. The higher the moisture in the wood, the less resistance it has. Well, the glue has the same effect on the moisture meter that will give you a false reading. So that's why you always take a section out, go between the glue lines, put your pin meter going between them, and you'll get really what it is. And after you even had dehumidifiers in a house, we found that we could get the top 2 veneers were dry. The core was still 4 points off in difference. And it has to take time to absorb, and that's where a lot of times it's quicker and easier, just take the section of plywood out and be done with it.